You are now watching Recording Angel Productions Limited.
Alright, let's just dive right into this, shall we? Mind you, it is 6 a.m. in the morning, and my eyes are bad. Just had to message a guy who I've been following on and off for a few years now. Casual Talk Vlogs. Shout out to him. He's a hardworking man, a young man who's been providing for his family. He's got a wife and a kid. And following him over the years, I've seen him move up the ranks in the hospital sector. Now he's working as a assistant surgeon, and good for him. Good for him. Kudos to that guy. You know, he works hard. He deserves all good things. But he does complain a lot about certain things which are happening in his life. Like, I see his vlogs, usually it's him facing away from the camera when he's driving to work. He's got his camera mounted to the dashboard, and you know, the camera is pointing at traffic. But he talks a lot about casually, yeah, that's his channel name, Casual Talk Vlogs. So he talks about casually things that are happening in America. No, I'm not American, I'm Canadian. I'm normal. Joke. Ha. Anyway, so he talks a lot about things that I guess are pretty down to earth. Talks about fitness. Alright, well, yeah, that's pretty important. You know, if he works in a hospital a lot, you know, it must be important to be taking care of that. You know, especially if you have a wife and kids. Lucky. He's blessed. You know. So I was saying to Casual Talk Vlogs in a detailed message, I was explaining to him, because he was complaining a lot about how when he goes to his third place, he goes to a fitness club or a gym. You know, he deals with Pookie and Ray Rays. Like, okay. You know, as an adult, I deal with problems from people all the time. People think that I'm stupid. You know, I just let them think what they think, man. It doesn't matter what they believe about me, because, you know, people, they tend to judge a lot about a person just by the way that they look. And if you think you know so much about me by this time, no, you are sadly mistaken. You know, some of us who are living below their means, alright, you know, we're not living this life based on lack of options. Some of us, you know, we go monk, and during times of uncertainty, we don't go out as much. I don't go out to bars, I don't go out to gyms, and if I did, I wouldn't care at all about anyone who gives me a hard time. Why? Because at the end of the day, they go home, they deal with their own crap, and I deal with mine. And it's just that simple. If they were, on the other hand, messing with my child or wife, if I had a wife, I still don't, by the way, and that's not any fault of mine. That's actually because I trusted the wrong people. But anyway, that aside, so Casual Talk Vlogs, he complains a lot, like a little boy. Sorry, man. You know, and it needs to be said as an adult. You need to focus more on things that matter at the present moment in time. Talking about Pookie and Ray Ray when there's more important things that you and your family need to think about, like how are you going to invest into something that's going to increase your savings long term, because that's way more important than anything that's going on in your day to day. You know, this is not high school, all right? This is the real world. We deal with real world issues. We deal with problems with people all the time. I have to. I mean, I can tell you, honestly, the other day I felt insulted by a girl. she was secretary, and I just simply asked her because she was in a position to help about things. She knows a lot, and she told me, "Oh, go and call Canada 211." And I went home and I researched. I didn't have my phone with me at the time. I didn't think it mattered as much, but yeah, once again, I feel like I've been insulted without knowing that I was. Anyway, the point of this story, you're going to be dealing with a lot of that. A lot of people are going to try and get a rise from other people because some people, they haven't grown up yet. What you need to do, casual talk, as a man, you're a daddy now, okay? You're a father. You have responsibilities. If places like the gym or other places that you have to deal with people that are giving you a hard time, why do you invest, valuable time and energy and money going to these places and then talking about it on your channel? Did you run out of topics to talk about? I mean, I thought he was wiser than this, like he told me before, oh, I'm going to save up my money and go to California. He didn't do it. I told him, listen, if you really want to find good people, find a good church because you're in a better spot than me. But no, he chooses to go to these places, okay, out of his own volition and free will. Okay, no one is putting a gun to his head and say, yeah, you need to keep on going to these places. And he grew up in New York City. I think, that part of him, he needs to have that that environment to make himself like he's more social. I can tell. He has issues that he's has yet to work out for himself. But I mean, I'm looking at this from third person point of view, and I'm just telling the audience, the general audience, as an example. Listen, he's a man. He talks a lot about God and about wisdom, but yet he's continuing to do foolish, childish things, like talking about things that, okay, Pookie Ray Ray. This is the kind of stuff that high school people talk about. Okay, I went to film school. I dropped out because I couldn't deal with people's BS. No, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Bullshit. I deal with a lot of people's crap, and I got a threshold. I don't go out to bars. I don't waste my time at any. Like, if I really wanted to, looks max, if there was a reason to do it, yeah, I would totally go to the gym and get shredded. I mean, my money is tight right now, but why waste my time and energy and money going through that when all I'm going to do is destroy my body for what? A girl? If a high-value woman sees me, she won't see me just for my looks. The people who really know me, yeah, they should know that by now. Looks aren't everything. Yeah, I don't even care about this channel anymore because, I'm sorry, for the guy, Roy, you were a gentleman. Unfortunately, I had plans to grow this channel and other channels, which it didn't work out. And I have goals too that have not near at the level where I wanted to be at. And I feel like a fool because I've looked to people who, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that they were jealous of me, but I mean, if that's a characteristic in the Christian community, they need to just grow up. Yeah. Casual Talk vlogs too. He at his age, this is the last thing that he needs to be focusing on. Honestly, do you really want to know what I think about what he should be focusing his time and energy on? Stacking that money, getting an accountant, and talking about smart future decisions which could affect the rest of his life, instead of going to the gym and complaining about stupid petty crap Why not just talk about the things that matter as an adult? If he has, a wife and a kid, I would be focused like 100% on that. How to get rich. If I was working my ass off at a hospital, yeah, the last thing I would talk about is some petty crap at a gym where, if he's still trying to mature as an adult, he needs a friend to tell him, hey, you know what, this is not the Bronx, okay? I'm not looking down on people. I like all people. I like black, white, Asian people. I dated a black Asian girl one time. Black and Asians, sorry. Don't get the two mixed. It doesn't matter. It was in the past. I was young once too. And I lived in Toronto. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that as an adult, you need to focus on down the line time. Alright? We have problems now with this economy. There's tariffs, there's inflation, there's not enough jobs to go around. I'm still looking for employment. I have to deal with idiots when I go to a food bank. I get tired, just because I can barely talk. It doesn't mean that I'm stupid. It means I'm conserving my energy because some days I don't have it, Like some days I can't afford to get groceries. Do you think I would care if once I do finally get an opportunity to, move up? There's something that needs to be said about Proverbs 22:3. I think that's right. And it's this: a prudent man sees a danger and he takes refuge, or he hides away, and then the simple go on and then they suffer for it. Okay? That's biblical wisdom, and I did not make that up. In other words, yeah, if I see all these videos about people talking about a financial economic depression, dude, you really gotta get on the ball and start getting to a financial advisor. Hire an accountant. Alright? You're not a child anymore. Who gives a crap about Pookie and Ray Ray in 2026? Who cares about, this frigate? I'm gonna take this off. Oh, gee whiz. When I was working at a gas station, I tried to talk some sense to people who came in off the streets, who had IQ half, if that, of me. I wasn't trying to upstage anyone. I was just trying to help save their lives by giving them a piece of good advice, which they didn't take. Eventually I got let go because I guess I received complaints. And the truth is, something, I don't care what these people do. If they want to spend their money on dope or cigarettes or drug money, I don't know. These people, they've got major problems. They have no ambition. There's a phrase, crabs in the bucket. You really want to know why I don't go out on weekends? It's like that. I can't bother myself to deal with idiots anymore because I've already dealt with it. I'm too old for it. I had to shave off my beard. Doesn't matter because something, I don't go out anyway, so I don't care about that. I just want to find a good woman, and still waiting for a chance to get to where I need to be in life. And I know for a fact that the people who I followed, who I trusted, they didn't seem to care about what I needed, or they just didn't want to get involved. So, there are going to be people who have, ego problems. This petty stuff, it's gotta stop. It's time to stop, honestly. You guys, you can figure it out. You preach a lot, you talk a lot, but instead you're doing the same stupid stuff. Okay, it's getting old. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. If you guys are really, professing to be Christian, why not actually do what wiser people do and then just not be a part of that sick society, will just dragging you down like crabs in the bucket, as I was saying. I hope that piece of advice and wisdom helps shed some light on the situation, and I got to get on with my life. And that's all I need to say about that.